Hello, welcome to Development Corner. Lots of upgrades in pretty much every garage up and down the pit lane. But the big stories are, how are Mercedes going to get back to their previously dominant form in Formula One and counter Ferrari's resurgence? And how are Red Bull going to get in that mix? Now, shall we do Mercedes first? And the car has been on somewhat of a slimline diet. That's because, as we've been saying pretty much all season long, the car has been 6 kilos over the minimum weight limit for all cars in the season. And what that means, not only is it giving away free lap time, because 10 kilos means 0.3 of a second per lap. That's just pure physics. So 6 kilos, you can imagine, it's just going to be over 1.5 tenths per lap. But not only is there that immediate lap time gain, but also it allows Mercedes to move that 6 kilos around the car in terms of ballast. So moving it from the front, and there's a little hatch just underneath the nose where a piece of lead goes, or they used to use depleted uranium because it's so dense, but actually it's lead now. And they can move that from front to rear, which helps the weight distribution, which helps the tires, and that's really been what's made this Mercedes so sensitive recently. But what difference can you see on this Mercedes? Look at the nose. Yep, on the right-hand side, that's the new one. It's a nice slimmed-down nose section compared to the old one on the left. And we can actually have a look at the scoop that's gone together with this new slimline nose. And you can just see what it's effectively doing, just taking air and working it through this intricate barge boards right underneath the driver's knees, if you like, and then to the side barge boards and out towards the diffuser at the back of the car. So visually, very different change on the Mercedes. That's a new thing, an innovation I've never seen before on a modern Formula One car. What does it look like to you? Kind of looks like a snow shovel, really, doesn't it? Upside down. But nice work from Mercedes there. We can also have a look at their developed barge boards as well. Just more little bits in this area down here, just in the forward part of the barge board, as well as these bits, these little tower elements of this barge board. That we've seen Mercedes, just a continuation of their excellence in this barge board area, certainly in terms of complexity. We can have a look at the rear of the car as well. They've just developed the monkey seat, as every team has been doing. And also Mercedes, I think, have done a change to the floor. It's a bit difficult to see on here. I've highlighted it, but Ferrari have had the most intricate diffuser up until this point. Mercedes haven't really been quite on their level, but I think they're actually starting to address that diffuser area on the rear as well. Part of the weight saving is also from the gearbox casing as well. That's different. The gearbox internals, as we've been saying, are the same, but the casing is lighter, and that's helped save that 6 kilos. Now, Ferrari, what have they brought to the party? Well, not that much. In fact, the only thing that I can really notice from the outside is the change in T-wings. On the bottom is the old T-wing, and on the top is the one that Kimi Raikkonen's going to be trying out, or has been trying out, which has no less than 4 elements. So 2 at the top, look at that, and then 2 underneath it. Who said these cars weren't complex enough and too complex? So it's a nice development of something that Red Bull weren't using, but something that Williams and Mercedes were developing around there, and it seems to be working so far for Ferrari. But apart from that, not too much. Let's move on the Ferrari. Let's move on to Force India, and a little few tweaks here and there. They've already brought developments on their barge boards to the last race, so nothing too much new. Bits on the floor and bits on the front wing, just around the cascade area around here as well. So nice stuff on the Force India. Now, we've spoken about how the teams use brake temperature to feed out through what we call the cake tin. That's the carbon fiber surround, and then help heat up the tires. Here we are, evidence of how Williams do that. Easy to see. These little vents in there help bleed out heat from the brakes and in through the rim of the wheel, which actually has holes in it, and into the tyre itself. So a nice thing that I spotted in there, and something Williams is trying out with the T-wing as well. Just a shortened version with a little same sort of cord and the little flap there, but still it's something different from what they were running before. Let's just move on to what else we've got, if I can make the SkyPad work, and the Red Bull. Okay, let's concentrate on that. I've heard what Christian Horner's saying about all of this. I've got plenty more to go, so let's just carry on. We've got the front wing end plate on the Red Bull, and then we can have a look also on their, excuse me, the barge board. This is the area that Horner was alluding to, with the complexity of the barge board up on here. Then we'll just go through to what else is new. The rear of the car, they've got a new rear wing end plate. There's a new little flap on the diffuser as well, and on the floor too. So plenty on the Red Bull to have a look at. Just want to show you this sensor on the front. Nice little thing, isn't it? It's just keeping the pitot tube actually nicely mounted out in the airstream. But this this sort of tripod area is actually mounting is actually 3D printed, which I thought was quite interesting. It's been on the car all season. I just haven't had a chance to show you it before. And finally, we can show you what's new on the Haas as well. It's the floor, which was on Kevin Magnussen's car. It will appear on Romain Grosjean's car tomorrow. But plenty down here in Development Corner. There'll be more throughout the weekend.